Flight boss, bitch, you know, for sure. You are now listening to the Mind of an Terry's Moon. I'm now Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And right now we're gonna talk about Leo. Mercury. Now we're gonna talk about Leo, and we're gonna talk about the what makes Leo center stage. You know what I'm saying? What makes Leo center stage? Now, what is Leo? Fixed fire. That's being fixated on its own, and in this case, feelings and seeing. So it likes to see things in its own way, and it likes to feel things in its own way. You know what I'm saying? So this is what makes the fixed signs stubborn. You know what I'm saying? Just like fixed earth, which would be Taurus. Taurus is the thinking and practicality. So they like to be fixated on their own way of thinking and being practical, which deal with the common sense and the senses and reality. So they're thinking in practicality. Then you have fixed air. Now, fixed air is Aquarius. So that's Aquarius is being fixated on its own thinking and communication. So this what makes them stubborn in their thinking and their communication style. A lot of times you can't change the way they think. You can't change the way they communicate. You know what I'm saying? The Tauruses, you can't change the way they think. You can't change their common sense. You can't change their sense. You can't change what's practical to them. You know what I'm saying? And then you have fixed water, which is Scorpio. And that's fixed water is being fixated on its own emotions and feelings. And this way you can't change this froze, this ice. You can't change their emotions. You can't change the way they feel about things. And when you have fixed fire, you have fixed fire, which does the being fixated on its own feelings and the way it sees things. So you can't change the way they feel, like water, but you can't change the way they see things. It's not, they don't like to put their feelings and emotions a lot of times. They like to express them, you know what I'm saying, for what they are. So whether sometimes they may be volatile or not, it didn't get a chance to go through that realm yet because it didn't emotionally soak like water. It got emotionally expressed through the feelings. So that's the difference between the fillers, which is the water and the fire. Now, when you have fixed fire, fire has its own visions, its own way of seeing things, its own way of feeling about things, and it has a vision. So a lot of times it thinks other people are looking at it in other ways, so it try to convince others to see the Leo in the way it wants to be seen. So it may express a certain feeling out of people, or express a certain way of a certain expression from themselves, and that they want to express in order to make people see them in the way that they want to be seen from that expression. So a lot of time Leos don't even put their feelings in a emotional box. A lot of times they just want you to feel them. They just want you to see them. A lot of times it doesn't even have to be right or wrong. You know what I'm saying? So they may be attention seekers. They may want to be center stage. So you have three types of center stagers when it comes to Leo. So you have Mercury. You have Mercury being in Leo. This will be the selfish center stage, or the self-centered Leo. You know what I'm saying? Then you have the Mercury being in, then you have the dramatic center stage Leo will be the Mercury in Cancer Leo. This will be the dramatical center stage, the drama center stage, the being in the middle or wanting to watch a drama type Leo. You know what I'm saying? And that would be the Mercury in Cancer Leos. And then you have the practical center stage Leos will be the Mercury in Virgo Leos. So let's break them down. Let's start with the Mercury and Leos. So right here, with the Mercury and Leos right here, Mercury is how you think and how you communicate, and how you analyze things. So off the bat, you're going to think and communicate about your way of seeing things, how you feel about things, right? So a lot of times you may be disclosed to others, or depending on other placements, you may allow others in yours in order to present yourself in these expressions. So this is how you think and communicate. So then your sun sign being in Leo, which the sun likes to be here, gets to relax, because a lot of time it doesn't have to do all the actions, because it can communicate. If the Mercury is here also, it could communicate the expression, and just think about the expression. And the thinking and communicating a lot of time deals with manifesting, deals with Mercury deals with speaking things into existence, because that's the mouth and Mercury and you know what I'm saying, the teeth and all that. So it talks, and it's the nerve system. So a lot of times it creates it holds the idea, so you can start expounding with the emotions and the feelings behind it. So when you have that in Leo, it's expressing the idea, it's thinking and communicating about the idea. So when the sun here, a lot of times it doesn't always have to put that in action. It can get support from others. So a lot of times this what makes Mercury and Leos a lot of times lazy, and they may procrastinate, but a lot of times because they feel like they're the Lord, they feel like they're the law. They feel like this is that way of being loved. If they could be appreciated, then they can show appreciation. So they create like a balance system that they can have with others. Like, you show me this attention, I show you this attention. The less attention you show me, the less attention I show you, and whatever the case is. You know what I'm saying? So when you have the Mercury here also, that's how that can play out. So when you have a lot of times, that's how they think, and that's how they communicate, and then their actions may play that out. But a lot of times when their authority, when they want to act in all their authority and get up and be the lion and the lionstress that they are, you know what I'm saying, which is our male and females, as the king and queens of the jungle, when they want to act in that right now, they have the communication and thought skills to organize and to have people look at them with a certain prestige to the point that they can be the boss of something, and their actions and the way they act is going to play that role and play that expression out of whatever these people want from this person who then thought and communicated this into existence. You see what I'm saying? Because Leo deals with the expression. So right here is more about the expressions. And then when you have we only talk about Leo sun signs, but the three different types. When you have Mercury being in Leo, this is the self-centered Leo. So a lot of times they're trying to get from point A to point B to see how can it benefit them, and if it's something that's not worth them putting there. Now, it's not selfish. Everybody needs to be selfish. Like when I'm going through all these zodiacs, you need all these qualities. It's not just because you that sign and you just have those qualities. You need all these. The better you know how to apply everything with you, the more whole as a human you can be. But as far as right here, Leo, with Mercury being in Leo right here, you like to think and communicate about your point of view and your way of seeing things, and then your actions play that out and express that. And when we're talking about Leo, is dealing with the expression. So a lot of times Leo like to play the part, but that's how they gain the courage of being the part. Like, they always have this energy of not being feeling like they're not that part. But if everyone like that part, they can be that part too. This is what gravitates Leos towards people with status and things of that nature. But when you have Mercury here, this is how you think and this is how you communicate also. You know what I'm saying? So you like to think and communicate about a certain expression that you think keyword think, others may like or others communicate about, and then your actions like to express that, and you like to play that part, whatever that part is, whether it's being a boss of something, whether it's being a leader, whether it's being whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's not till you want that energy back when you get lazy and withdraw back, because you feel like, dang, if I'm playing this part for everybody, when I get drained out, who could be my superhero? Who could be my? And then that's where a lot of times Leos get moody and get resentful towards others a lot of times, because others may get the shine where they may want it because they fell back from it. You know what I'm saying? But that's the self-centered with the Mercury Leo, with the Mercury being in Leo and being a Leo sun sign. Now you have the dramatic center stage Leos. You know what I'm saying? Which will be the Mercury in Cancer Leos. So what happens here is, now the way you think and communicate is now in cardinal water, so now you're thinking and communicating about initiating new ways of how to think, how to feel, and how to put your emotion, and how to feel your emotions, basically your emotions and feelings. You're initiating new emotions and feelings and new ways and new cardinal ways of them. So what happens here is, when you have that in your mind and the way you think and communicate, now you start to think that you need to express that because the sun is the express sign. So now you create your own expressions. You're not taking other people's expressions and think what you should be expressive of yourself, like if Mercury was in Leo. Now it's like you care about the expression itself now. So now when you put Mercury in Cancer and you're a Leo, now the way you think and communicate, now you place that in caring how other people feel about your expressions. You care about other people's expressions, other people's emotions, other people's feelings. This is what you think and communicate about. So when other people are, when you start to think and analyze, when you see other people's expressing themselves or other people being in moods or feeling a certain way about things, then you like to express whatever your sun sign kick in, and the way you act and your actions like to express whatever part you want to play with them, whether you want to play the part of uplifting, optimistic person, or whether you want to play the part of adding on to the energy, like, yeah, we can, well, let's do this because you should do this, or adding it as an opposing energy, like, oh, well, I wouldn't do this and I don't know why you doing that and this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? It could play out in those parts, but in either way, you're going to be expressing a care for that person's emotional awareness, or how that person feel about something. You know what I'm saying? So be wary of that and that person's emotions. So right here, that's what happens when you got Mercury and you have the caring center stage. So now you put other people's moods and other people's emotions and feelings on the center stage, and then you put your own on the center stage, and then you value them now when you have Mercury in Cancer. You see what's more worth it. If this person's emotional baggage more important than yours, to put your emotional expression aside, or is yours more emotional baggage or more weight than theirs? And then that's when you choose who you be authority over or who not to be authority over. If you know what I mean. If you're a Leo, I think you know what I mean when I said authority. I don't even know no better way to put it. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? You start to feel like you start to see a person's emotional awareness and the way they feel and how far their emotions can go, how they feel. So you start to feel like you with the Mercury being in Cancer as being a Leo, you'll start to feel like you can control another person's emotions and feelings. You know what I'm saying? So you would probably take over authority over someone if they let you, or you could balance someone who's strong enough to balance will with you. You know what I'm saying? Or you know what I'm saying? You could just be arch enemies with someone. But that's how it can play out when you have Mercury in Cancer as being a Leo sun sign. So that's the dramatic center stage. The dramatic center stage Leos, because they like to express gossip. They like to get into how what other people care about, what other people feel, other people's business. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. A lot of times they can't keep their own mouth shut about things and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because they just too busy they too busy expressing. They too busy expressing and sitting back and analyzing and thinking. You know what I'm saying? Too busy expressing their own feelings and how other people feeling and picking up other people's feelings and shit. So and thinking about that and thinking too long about it. So that's what happens when you have this Mercury in Cancer, which is the dramatic center stage. Now you have the practical center stage Leo. Because this is what makes Leo center stage. So the practical center stage Leo, 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10, what is I'm talking about? Mercury being in Virgo. You know what I'm saying? So when you have Mercury in Virgo and you're a Leo, this is what makes you a practical center stage Leo. So right here, what is Mercury? Mercury is, what is Virgo? Now Mercury loves being in Virgo. What is Virgo? Mutable earth. Now it's being adaptable and changeable to others in your own way of thinking and practicality, which is the common sense and things of that nature in reality. So what happens here is when you have Mercury here and your sun sign is in Leo, the way you think and the way you communicate is about the details, being critical, how things work. So right here, you're thinking and communicating, and then when it gets filtered out through your sun sign, it's like now you are expressing this. This is things that you are expressing. So you are expressing the practical ways of how to get from point A to point B, for an example, because this is what your mind is on. Your mind is your sun sign want to express all these talents and all these expressions that you have, but the way you think and communicate is telling you how to do it now. Making you make sure it's perfect, making you make sure it's detailed, making sure that you you work on it, you work on your expressions, you work on your talents, you work on them day to day on a day-to-day basis. Your Mercury is going to make you think and communicate about ways of how to benefit off of it, or ways of how to benefit off others, off other self-expression, other people who are center stage. You're gonna be able to pick up on that if you're a Leo with a Mercury with a Mercury being in Virgo. You're gonna be able to pick up what makes another person better who's in the spotlight. Be able to be an asset other than a liability. Because a lot of times they're going to play with each other. You may not want to be center stage, but if you're going to be center stage, you want to make sure it's done right. So you're gonna make sure you go. You're gonna make sure you go through all the. You're gonna make sure you go through all the procedures you need to do in order to make sure you get your expression out right. So instead of just jumping out wanting to be center stage, you're gonna think and analyze ways of how to be on center stage first, to be on a stage first, or to be somewhere executive in something, or you know what I'm saying. You're gonna think of those ways to be there first. Then once you think and communicate your way into these positions, that's when your sun sign is gonna show itself and express your expressions about these positions you put yourself in. So right here, this is the practical center stage. Is people, they take the practical way, the realistic way of being center stage. A lot of times, they might not even express their talent if it's not worth it. Like a lot of Mercury and Leos may not care to express their talents in front of someone for no reason. They might just sing for no reason, you know what I'm saying? All Leos really do this, you know what I'm saying? Sing along with songs and stuff like that and dance. But more so like the Mercury and Virgo Leos more so try to, it may come out at times because that's their actions and the way they act, but the way they think, a lot of times they may not go full force with the expression of it unless it's worth it, like unless they're in front of an actual music exec, or it's actually the time to actually express themselves. Like they're just not out doing it for the sake of just expressing themselves just to do it. They gotta have some type of business to it, or some type of common sense to it, or practicality to it, which is the earth, the thinking and the practicality. So right there, that's your practical center stage Leos, and that's the three types, and that's that's what makes Leos center stage. And the three types of center stageness, which is you have the Mercury in Cancer, which is the dramatic center stage, the Mercury in Leos, which is the self-centered center stage, and then you have the practical, which is the Mercury and Virgo, which is the practical, communicative center stage Leos. These people who are gonna try to talk their way into positions, you know what I'm saying, but make sure that they got all the credentials that they need so they can fully express themselves and not get let down and not get rejected when it's time for them to do what they have to do. And that's the practical center stage Leos when Mercury is in Virgo as Leos. Flight boss bitch, you know, for sure. Goddamn.